And hello YouTube, this is Thomas Judge back once again with another installment of my ongoing weekly series, Valiant Till the Last, in which I review every single deluxe hardcover in the Valiant universe and every non-collected series in the Valiant universe ever since the 2012 reboot. I'll tell you this everyone, it has been a minute. I know these videos drop weekly in the real world, but in terms of recording them, it's been a bit of a break for me. You probably noticed in the audio of some of the previous videos, I wasn't coming across great. My throat was pretty bad. A lot of the audio was slightly choppy. I had to cut and paste lots of bits and pieces because I've been having a lot of respiratory problems. And for the last couple of weeks, I haven't been able to record or do anything. Fortunately, I always have videos on deck, which is great. So I have been able to keep up consistent output on the channel. But I'm now finally feeling a bit better. So thankfully, I can get back to some normal, straightforward recording. So with that out of the way, this is now very nearly the end of the Valiant comic universe ever since the 2012 reboot. And what we're going to look at today is Q2, The Return of Quantum and Woody. Now, this is an out of continuity series, and it's probably worth a bit of context in terms of what that means. Valiant, when it came out in the 90s, was a particular era of Valiant which the fans refer to as VH1, I suppose, for want of a better term. Then what happened is Acclaim took over Valiant, and this was kind of the fall of the original Valiant comic company in the late 90s. And that then led to them rebooting a lot of the characters. They rebooted Ninjak into this weird video game related thing. They rebooted Exo Manowar to have completely different background and protagonists. And they also rebooted Quantum and Woody. Then the VH2 era continued for a little bit, and of course you can Google all this. And then Valiant died and fizzled out, and then it basically went stagnant for well over a decade until it got bought by Dinesh Samdasani, and it got relaunched in 2012 with the Valiant comics we've been reading in this series. And the current Valiant era is called the Valiant Entertainment era. Now, this comic here, Q2, The Return of Quantum and Woody, is collected as a deluxe edition hardcover, and it was actually written and published in 2014. I don't know why they made it. Clearly, there was some kind of major fan affection for the original Quantum and Woody series back from the 90s VH1 era. And the original writers and creators there, which was Christopher Priest as a writer and illustrations by someone called M. Bright, they were the original creative team from that original series back in the 90s. And what they did is they then did this comic, which is a 5-issue comic called Q2 colon The Return of Quantum and Woody, and it's set in that continuity. So it's completely unrelated to the Quantum and Woody comics that we've been looking at in this series. I know it's a little bit confusing, and that's why I've gone to the effort of putting this in the out of continuity section of this video series. As you may or may not have gathered, ever since the beginning, I've had a bit of a plan for the visual identity of this particular playlist. If it has a thumbnail which is all black, that means it's collected as a deluxe edition. If it's black and red, that means it isn't collected as a deluxe edition. And now, last week, this week, and next week, if it's black and blue, that means that it's out of continuity. So this is definitely, hopefully, clearly marked as an out of continuity comic. So with all that background context out of the way, what does that mean for this particular comic? Is it good? Is it worth reading? Well, you can definitely read it. It works pretty well as a standalone. I mean, obviously, it helps that you know the concept of Quantum and Woody, two brothers, um, these bracelets that give them superpowers, they have to clang them together, etc., etc. Um, but the story itself is, yeah, it's okay. To be honest, it didn't really feel out of continuity. If someone had just told me this was some weird spin-off of Quantum and Woody from the post 2012 relaunch, I would have believed them. As a story, it's fine. It's not great. It's not bad. It doesn't really feel out of continuity. That said, it definitely isn't essential to any kind of continuity. It doesn't have any kind of build up or any kind of sort of result or resolution at the end that will have a further impact. So in that sense, it's totally standalone. If you're into Quantum and Woody, you might as well check it out. Even if you're only into Quantum and Woody from the post 2012 era, you may as well check this out. I mean, technically, it's explicitly said not to be in continuity, but hey, I mean, if you like that kind of comedy, those kind of stories, yeah, why not? Um, 5 issues. It's available in the trade paperback. It's available in a deluxe edition hardcover, which actually lines up perfectly on your shelf with all the hardcovers we've been talking about. I haven't bothered buying it because it's not in continuity, and in my weird psychological way, I think as a result, I don't need to have it in my collection. If, however, you do want it, it is available and it's not particularly hard to find as far as I'm aware. So there we have it, 5 issues, Q2, The Return of Quantum and Woody, still the world's worst superhero team. Um, yeah, an out of continuity Valiant series. Okay, homework for next time is going to be our very last Valiant series ever. And it's one that I've been quite looking forward to, and I very deliberately timed this to be the very last one that we do out of this entire video series. And that is a 4 issue miniseries called Valiant High. Definitely out of continuity as far as I'm aware. Let's read that for next time and let's see how we get on. All right, thanks for watching, everybody. As always, please like, comment, subscribe. As always, please follow me on Twitter at I am Thomas Judge, where I will post a daily review of whatever comics I've been reading. You can get an idea of what I'm up to on the channel. And as always, please support the channel by heading over to Amazon.com and checking out my prose novel about superheroes. It's a completely original piece of work. The first episode in it is called Arrivals, and the series as a whole is called No Gods or Kings. You can find an excerpt of that on my website, nogodsorkings.com. Until next time, everybody, stay classy.